Hello everyone, welcome to the manga review channel. If you find it interesting, please like and comment, and don't forget to subscribe channel to watch the newest episodes as soon as possible. I wish you enjoyable viewing moments. Previously, Zhuo Yifan and his companions were surrounded by a thick fog at the inn. There's currently no solution. After some deliberation, Zhuo Yifan discovered that the young man hadn't attacked early because he was afraid of the old drunkard. Now that he's gone, he immediately attacked. Zhuo Yifan shouted to everyone and then grabbed. Now that the old drunkard is gone, he immediately attacked. Zhuo Yifan shouted to everyone and then grasped. He climbed onto the roof of Tana's house to the upper floor, avoiding the black mist. People of Keelan, who were frozen like logs, unable to run. Even though they tried their best to run upstairs, it was useless, and in the end, they were swallowed by fog and disappeared. Tram was bewildered when the fog showed no intention of killing, but the group Q Lang showed no signs of life. Yang Sha anxiously looked south. He worriedly muttered, "What now? I can't even tell what this is." It seems even a void refinement expert would find it hard to break through this fog. His eyes narrowed slightly. Zhuo Yifan pulled So Quin Tan of the southern tower. They ran to the upper floor of the southern building. He said, "It's fine. Let's observe a little longer and then we'll proceed." Yang angrily said, "Zhuo Yifan, you threw more than a dozen brothers into the fog and you still don't understand. You still need to look again. If we continue like this, we will all die." Zhuo Yifan indifferently said, "Calm down. I just heard something. In the fog, they don't have any screams, so they must be controlled, not dead. Wait until I can see clearly. I will save you." Jung said anxiously, "What do we do? What's wrong? What do you mean?" Track Fam calmly replied, "I mean nothing. If you still can't see it, we must find someone. Try again until we can figure it out. That's why I said you should try it first. I'll save you again later." Yang Sha angrily shouted, "Let us go and try." "What the hell? Why don't you go try it yourself?" Zhuo Yifan chuckled. "Path ahead is unclear. To rush in recklessly, isn't that a desire for death? Do you think I'm a fool? Do you think I'm stupid? Are you rushing to your death?" "Powerless," Yang Sha said, "according to your wishes. So we're all fools, are we?" Zhuo Yifan smiled strangely, saying, "That's not it. It's just that here, I'm far more intelligent than you all. Refining chi, refining pills, setting formations. How dare you compare yourselves to me? I live. If you obey, you have a chance to live. But if I die here, you'll only be waiting to die. Therefore, the reconnaissance mission into that thick fog, only you are suitable to carry it out. I'll stay behind and observe the situation." "I must stay behind to assess the situation." Glancing at each other, the three reluctantly nodded. Though Zhuo Yifan words sounded irritating, "It's a mess, but it's undeniable that they want to leave this place peaceful. To turn the tables, it truly depends on Zhuo Yifan profound and erudite mind. If the male lead can't do it, then everyone is dead. The Yang family assassins aren't planning to rush into themselves. This stupid pathfinder, they wouldn't be so foolish as to." So Yang looked towards the Xian Tian sect members, then spoke in a stern voice, "Currently, the fog is getting closer and closer to this place. We're running out of people. Who amongst you will go out there? Don't be shy. One of you needs to go out there. Don't hesitate." The Xian Tian Tong was so scared he peed his pants, just like Qian. He's afraid of Og and the three palace attendants. The Ma Sach Tong, truly a coward. Yang sat roaring, "This is all your fault. My people have already suffered such heavy losses. Now that you still have some strength left, won't you lend a hand? Consider it carefully, or things won't end well. If you're unwilling to leave on your own, then let me help decide it." Once the words were spoken, the aura around Yang Sat suddenly erupted, revealing the strength 4th level of the void realm. It immediately pressured the group from the Xian Tian sect, scaring them so much they nearly bled in fear. "I think this old hag is perhaps too ashamed and angry, wanting to attack us. But with our strength, we are no match for Kung Feng Hoa who can. Palace Phoenix illusory void realm cultivators, let alone. The misty figures are almost here. My mind is racing." Suddenly, Tui Nuak Hoa stepped forward, sincerely pleading, "Say, Senior, you don't need to force me to go. This is something we caused. Thank you for saving us. I just hope that this trip of mine can help think of a way to rescue and provide some assistance to save our disciples from this place. Like that, then I would be extremely great." Senior Zhuang Fan nodded slightly, then coldly waved his hand. "It seems like you're trying to say stop talking nonsense. Hurry up and go so I can stay here and observe unnoticed." A bitter smile appeared in her heart. Tui Nuak Hoa suddenly felt a little sorrow and silently sighed. "This man is truly cold and heartless. I don't know what to do. My heart feels lost and endless. Word can't express it." So Quin Tan glanced at her. I pondered and said, "Senior sister, if not, or perhaps I should go." But before she finished, Zhuo Yifan roared, "Where are you going?" Sensing Zhuo Yifan concern, So Quincheng felt an unusual warmth in her heart. But she persisted, saying, "Since I joined the Xian Tian sect until now, it's fine. Senior sister has taken care of me enough. How can I let her be the one to go into this danger?" Shui Ruhua's face is full of spirit and heroism. Hao Xiong expressed his junior sister's intention, asking senior sister to accept it. But as the leader of the Xian Tian sect, facing this dangerous situation, senior sister should still set an example and step forward. She glanced at Suo Qingcheng and, looking towards Shui Ruo, his face firm. Ding Zhuofan pondered for a while, then pointed towards Yang Sha and said, "Forget it. Neither of you need to go. Let him go. His body can't bear it anymore." Yang Sha's face turned pale, and he roared, "You damned scoundrel. You who values beauty over friendship. What right do you have? It's you who pushed me into this." Zhuofan. He shrugged, sighed, and said there was no other way. "Who told you to be a void transformation I want to see how effective this fog. What effect does it have on void transformation experts? Let's see. Are you like others, lifeless after entering? Or can you still fight back? Resisting it. Perhaps we can escape them. From that, we can speculate on the origin of this thick fog. Ultimately, what is it? A poisonous trap or a formation? If it's a formation, what level is it? If we continue to let them go in there, their strength is too low, so it'll be difficult to investigate anything. Clearly, going is the same as not going." Yang Sha. Hearing that, I was stunned. "It's true. There's no arguing with that." Zhuofan's words are spot on. Yin Sha and Gue Sha simultaneously said, "Hey, this kid is right. You should go. It's the best choice for you. Go." Yang Sha angrily said, "You two dead dogs, you dare to side with him and tell me to go die hundreds of years as brothers, and you make me accept death? I'm practically worthless compared to a newcomer." Zhuofan laughed and said, "Yang Sha, after entering the palace, as I said, you won't die. Don't tell me you still don't believe my judgment." Yang Sha smiled bitterly. "I'm not afraid of 99%. I'm only afraid of that 1%. It's nothing different anyway. If after I enter, you little brat, still no clue to save them, if I go out, you won't escape either. It won't take more than a few minutes. Even if I get one step ahead, it's still the same. No matter what, I'm the one who survived, having made it through the Song-Long Society. Do you think I'm afraid of a bunch of kitchen scraps?" After saying that, Yang Sats let out a soft snort. Then decisively, "Everyone entering inside will see that. They will secretly think this group of people in the demonic path, though not good people, at certain moments they are truly righteous, need not calculate any, but bravely step forward, deserving the 4 words heroic and valiant. But looking back, disciples of the Xian Tian sect, facing danger, they are cowardly and weak. In the end, it was a woman who stepped forward. This is truly too cowardly on this side." With just a shake of his body, he reached the spot. The mist he released was met with a palm strike. Though powerful, it did not disperse it in the slightest. He involuntarily recoiled. Jung felt strange and terrified. He wanted to retreat the mist. He climbed onto his body, and Yang Sha immediately trembled in fear, stammering, "Track fans him." Before he could finish speaking, he fell silent. Everyone became even more horrified. Yang Sha remained completely still. Then the dense fog seemed to engulf, as if he didn't even have the consciousness to run away. 2 Yin sages screamed in panic. They couldn't have imagined that Yang Sat, a master of Void Realm like him, would have no strength to resist. And in an instant, the dense fog was swallowed up by this devouring toy. "What exactly is this thing?" Zhuofan pondered for a moment, thinking back to the situation when Yang Sat was swallowed up. Or this thing really doesn't value human life. Otherwise, in that moment, no matter who it was, they could at least let out a mournful scream, let alone Yang Sha. Furthermore, just now, he seemed to have discovered some, but he couldn't speak. Perhaps this toy can prevent people from. Those who are fixed in place will be unable to speak. Then they will be taken away by others. In other words, we can identify those who have been consumed by the fog. They aren't dead. They just can't move or speak. The immediate priority is how to break through this thick fog and rescue them. Zhuofan's expression became, "It's so confusing. What on earth is this thing? Why is it so strange?" Suddenly, seeing their expressions, Zhuofan seemed to think of something. His eyes lit up. He said, "So that's it. I almost got tricked by that kid. So that's how it is. So that's it." Suo Qingcheng exclaimed, "How did you know? So you figured out a solution?" The others rushed to Zhuofan, urgently asking, "Zhuofan, have you figured out what this contraption is?" A gleam flashed in Zhuofan's eyes. He said, "That's right. We were all deceived by its appearance. In reality, it's not fog inside at all. There's no poison or anything else. Or you could say this thing basically doesn't exist." After hearing this, everyone became even more confused. Track fam sneered and continued, "Do you still remember our analysis of that kid's personality before? That kid is indeed fond of playing around. He really enjoys messing with things on purpose. This thick fog is meant to scare us, to make us panic and be devoured in fear. But actually, this is simply a boundary that's constantly expanding. And it's an illusionary boundary, a magical formation. Once enveloped by this boundary, one will immediately fall into an illusion, unable to resist and completely at its mercy." So the devouring ghost said, "So that's how it is. It's difficult. No wonder before, when Yang Sha attacked that strike into this fog, half of his weapon's power didn't disperse. It turns out he struck empty space. Then, when he cried out in shock, I guess he also felt his own consciousness was shaken. He was startled because it was an illusion aimed at him. Unfortunately, he didn't have time to speak before his consciousness was sealed. The others were the same. Before being devoured by the village, their faces were all dull, not shouting, not panicking. Clearly, they had fallen into to an illusion. But this illusion was truly powerful. Even high-level experts in the void not escape. To break free from this, it must be a top-tier battle. After everyone hears this, they will be even more horrified. Although it's said that this fog won't harm them, just thinking about how the enemy can set up such a great formation, and even experts in the void realm are helpless. It's truly astonishing. In the end, what kind of karma have we created to end up offending them like this? Only Zhuo Yifan, the expert, stared intently at fog, deep in thought. After a while, he spoke. You needn't be so hasty. The opponent might not be as strong as you imagine. This 7th grade formation, no less than a transformation void array. This is definitely a 7th grade formation, or higher. The array laying technique is also superb. The array laying technique is exquisite. Zhu had a momentary desire to make the master's illusory scene disappear. But it's not as easy as that. Perhaps Shui Nuok hastily asked. Perhaps what? Zha Fam smiled strangely and said, perhaps that person used a special method to increase the formation's power to a higher level. Based on my guess, it's possible they used a sacred stone to. Everyone was shocked after hearing that. The sacred stone? He exclaimed. That's impossible. Track Fam coldly laughed. No, the entire Western Zhou couldn't possibly obtain the sacred stones. Only the 6 sects of the central 3 sects and the upper 3 sects possessed them, but the central 3 sect received very few sacred stones. Their sects don't even have enough, let alone you have money to spend. Don't tell me you disciples dare use the sacred like Elder Gong to do such an absurd thing. To seek pleasure, you will have your legs broken. The answer is clear. The person who made the move came from the upper 3 sects, and the only demon sect in the upper 3 sects is the number 1 demon sect, Western Zhou, the Shizhou demon flame sect. There's no doubt about this anymore. Yet, as Track Fam finished speaking, a sinister laugh echoed from within the mist. Ha ha ha. You poor little brat. Your cultivation isn't high, but your knowledge isn't low either. You've really been figured out piece by piece. Sneering and laughing aloud, Track Fam said, I still don't understand how you managed to turn every people in the town entered Tan, unaware. It turns out they used an illusion to lead. After they left, the mysterious person sneered. You're not bad, kid. You're the first person ever to find a clue in my game, young master. But now that you've discovered it, what's next? Do you think you have a way to breaking the 7th level anger formation using the holy stone arrangement? If there's none, it's still useless. Haha. Suddenly, So Quin Tan gently smiled as if there was no trace of worry or fear, slowly turning her head to look at the roof. Track Fam calmly asked, hey, why? Aren't you scared? So Quin Tan smiled brightly and replied, with you here, I am not. We're not afraid of old morning dew. We single guys have to eat dog food now. Joyful smile played on his lips. Another young man is showing off his couple's food this morning. Free for brothers. Track Fam advances towards So Quin Tan, eyes full of affection. He says, no matter what happens, I will stay by your side. But he throws some red from his hand. Track Fam throws it straight at So Quin Tan. 2 people, Een and Ghost Killers, watch the show. I can't stand this dog food. Think about it, big brother. We're in this together. In a critical situation like this, we should discuss how to deal with the enemy, not like this. Yang Sha and his men are waiting for us to go save them, and you're here flirting with a woman? Truly unruly. The sect is absolutely right to forbid those demonic fellows. We're not allowed to get involved with love. Once you get involved, love's weight and lightness aren't clear. This guy betrayed us, and even us. We've become targets of the ghost slayers. Hesitantly, I speak up. Hey, let go. Friend, eating dog food every day. Hong isn't happy, is she? Hey, it's been hundreds of years already. That group of people. Tui Nuok Hoa saw the scene of the affectionate couple. She couldn't understand it and thought to herself, in the sect, matters of love between men and women are strictly forbidden, while the orthodox sect doesn't impose such strict rules. As the demon sect, love between men and women can still affect one's cultivation. Therefore, it's not allowed, even in the orthodox sect. I initially devoted myself to cultivation, but now seeing this scene of men and women together, I also feel a little longing. But the city's beauty is like a fairy in the sect, admired by many. But why does she only pay attention to this so-called great demon? She should know that senior sister back then also suffered because of this. Suddenly, the loud roar of anger from within the thick fog fills the air, overflowing with resentment. Ha ha ha. Tan too, you will die fast. You damn kid, take your filthy hands off her. That woman, I had my eyes on her long ago. Don't think you can take what's in my mouth. You want to die, don't you? Right? Damn it, you can touch anyone, but not her. If it touches the roof of the Shua Quin residence, this guy is done for. Everyone can hear it. Inside, I can't help but feel afraid, but deep down, I silently applaud. I think these 2 lovers are shameless, constantly being affectionate in front of us, the single people. It's really too much, bro. Even though we're enemies, this matter. You did well. We support you. You're sure? Fan chuckled, seemingly wanting to provoke that man. The young man raised the 2 two tightly clasped hands. Hi, then laughed mockingly and said, old man likes it that way. What are you going to do? If you're so capable, separate us then. In the fog, a strange laugh echoed. Ha ha ha. Doesn't know his own limits. How could I separate you all? At most, I just need to wave my hand, and right after that, the fog's movement speed increases significantly. Before anyone can react, just a slight startle, and they've already lost consciousness, devoured completely by the engulfing force. That guy proudly said, next, little brat, I'll encircle you within my 7th grade moon-ean devouring soul formation. I've waited 49 days for this. Once I've enjoyed that beauty, it'll be your turn. Will that do? Everyone hearing this was terrified. They wanted to escape, but there was nowhere to run. As a result, in a moment, the fog from the devouring village finally left. Only 2 people remaining, Track Fam and So Quin Ton. Ton saw the dense fog approaching, and both of them, frightened, began to retreat. Their expressions became solemn. Suddenly, Jung's eyes narrowed, and So Quin Ton's focus sharp. Her awareness started to pan. Track Fam, noticing this, urgently called out to Quin Ton, the heroine, but the male lead didn't have time to say a few words, and was left stunned, unable to speak a word. She couldn't move. At this moment, through the thick fog, a malicious laugh echoed. The voice said, you foolish little brat, you're actually quite clever, able to see through everything, but unfortunately your strength is too weak. It's just a double image illusion. If not, even I could play this game with you for a long time. Even so, it won't be boring. Chuckles asterisk a sound echo. Zhuo Yifan's hand, which was holding Suo Qin Cheng's hand, was suddenly released. Then, he heard a triumphant laughter fading into the distance, but that person, he couldn't see it right away as he left. In Track Fam's eyes, the blue flame burned fiercely like a flash of 7-colored light, a bright halo, but the tranquility in his mind was shrouded in fog. Yet, no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't approach those rays of light. It was as though they formed a protective shield that firmly safeguarded him. No one can harm. Suddenly, the dragon's eyes widened. He opened his eyes, tilted his head to the sky, and roared. In a flash, blue flames surged across the dragon's body, then transformed into a sea of fire, instantly dissipating all the fog, and Zhuo Yifan was in the fog. Then Ton suddenly opened his eyes. The burning inflammation on his forehead was completely gone. Ton was awake. The male lead gently stroked Ton's forehead. Then he laughed. Ha ha ha, you little rascal. You really are playful and arrogant. You don't know what it means to avoid future consequences. With Ton Veem protecting you, you can ignore whatever method you use. Attacking my primordial spirit won't be so easy. Therefore, I should find out the source and go to the very lair of that young brat Zhou. Having said that, Zhuo Yifan took a step to leave, but suddenly saw a thick patch of fog. His primordial spirit was inconvenient to deploy. The fellow smiled and said, I almost forgot. My son is still trapped in that brat's formation. You can set up formations, but I can't. What's the deal? You have saint stones. I don't. Why am I, in this regard, your ancestor? You damn dog. Hack asterisk hack. After a strange laugh, Zhuo Yifan raised both his hands, and light shone. A strange, ghostly light flickered quickly. He immediately took shelter inside Detective Barry. Then, the male lead struck out with both hands, forming a seal. Determination solidified in his eyes as he unleashed the formation. The formation shattered with a loud boom. Asterisk whoosh 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 asterisk. A resounding explosion emanating from the area around Zhuo. With Fam at the center, a blinding light. His eyes suddenly flashed, then transformed into a tsunami spread in all directions. Previously thick fog was so dense that no one could do anything. Momentarily light, early snow being shattered pieces. In a blink of an eye, this area restored its previous quietness within a mountain. A thunderous roar, each sound echoing endless throughout the entire mountain peak. The Shui grew. The newly captured Ruohua slowly opened her eyes, her pupils focusing ahead and constricting. Her face suddenly became flushed. This moment, before her eyes, she saw a strong man with reddish-brown hair and an evil expression. It was the red-haired man she'd encountered a half-month ago, and beside him was a familiar figure. The red-haired young man was busily shoveling coal before everyone's faces changed. Hui Nuok's face. Startled, she gritted her teeth and said the name. Beast, release my junior martial sister. Having said that, she tried to stand up, thinking of a way to escape, but as soon as she moved, she found her whole body paralyzed. Unexpectedly, two Vi's movements had been sealed. She couldn't even twitch, not even a glance. The evil sigh. The young man with red hair smirked and said, ha ha ha, little girl, can't wait anymore. Don't worry, your turn will come soon. Hui Nuok Hoa, enraged, shouted, you shameless bastard. Jung Sat whistled loudly and said, haha, brother, we're not strangers. They're just passing by. Do you want to make a move? Then just deal with those women. Let us go. Young man with red hair. The red-haired youth scoffed. Let you go? Ha ha ha. I saw you earlier, helping them plot and scheme. Now you pretend you don't know anyone, and expect me to believe you? Yang Sha reluctantly sighed. He said our team leader and that woman are old friends who happened to meet on the road and encountered trouble, so he just lent a hand. We really don't have much of a relationship. A slight smile played on his lips. The red-haired young man said, I don't care who you are. Once you enter my cave, you're my prey. Let me deal with he then licked his bloody lip. lips. Gaze in his eyes condensed as he exerted force. The young woman suddenly screamed loudly. Her body trembled, and in an instant there was no more life in her eyes. At the same time, with the speed visible to the naked eye, her form rapidly withered and in an instant turned into a dried-up corpse. Seeing that, he furrowed his brows, thinking, yin-yang replenishment? How is it possible? If this young man cultivates the yin-yang replenishment technique, then the southern people in our group will be safe. Ha ha ha. But immediately after that, the red-haired young man waved his hand, and a Xian Tian sect disciple was suddenly sucked over, unable to resist. He twisted the man's neck and killed him. It was like strangling a bird. Then a flash of light shot out, carrying a surge of pure essence. Pure yang energy was immediately absorbed by him. The man also suddenly turned into a dry corpse, lifeless in an instant. Yang Sat was momentarily stunned, his face shaking uncontrollably as he felt unease in his heart. He couldn't help but look towards the young man with red hair from MT is about to cry. He says, "Is it true that Doom has a high-pitched voice? Dicey, are you a man or a woman? Doom, are you male or female, or is it just a rumor? Is that information accurate? Shouldn't we avoid being with both men and women? Eating from both sides like that isn't good. There's no way out." The young man with red hair, he laughs loudly and then looks, regarding what everyone says. Cough cough cough. It's not wrong. I conquer both men and women. I'll exhaust yin and then yang. Just wait a moment. I will then gather the innate primal yang energy of your void refinement. X's lips twitched downwards, revealing a pained expression. He really didn't dare to think I, the esteemed one, Ni than 7 feet tall and a master cultivator of void realm, yet he was killed by a southern waste. It's truly shameful. What a disgrace. What a disgrace. Track fam, you. Damn you. Didn't you say you would come save us? Are you coming or not? I'm about to die. I'm dying. Hoo. Over here. The young man in red. Again. Lift up your pants. Let's have some lewd laugh. Come on, continue. Whose turn is it now? It's over. Then he went towards Noyetni and said, ahem, little girl, you are truly delicious, juicy. Let's have some fun together. With a lewd laugh, he let out a sound. He couldn't wait any longer. He immediately rushed over and spread her legs apart. But he hesitated when he saw her like that. Hong Mang looked at her and said, "Girl, you are a woman, but why is your body so stiff? I can't separate." Then he gritted his teeth in anger and said, "What on earth happened to your body?" Secretly smiling inside, he thought. Noyetni coldly said, "Forgive me, you're too late. We've been caught by the master. Huang Ti pill can't help with it has no solution. The body will become stiff. Don't waste your effort. It won't work." Young man, the red-haired man, became even angrier, saying, "What kind of master in the world would let their disciple die like this? Such a cruel method. Punishing the disciple is one thing, but not even letting the noble enjoy it is too much." He then turned away. "Everyone is shouting the name of that damn master. He's dead. Hurry up and bring the antidote. Hand it over to me." Q Lang sighed and said, It's useless even if you call for him. He's not here. Big brother, please have mercy. Let us go. Let us walk around a bit. If not, if we stay completely still, we will definitely be turned to ashes." "That stone head is dead," the red-haired man said. "So it turns out that the young man, Tuvai, is that much better than you. Some have even surpassed him. How could he be your master?" He unconsciously chuckled. Kyutsong said, "That's why he used this method to control us." The red-haired youth pounded his chest. Kyutsong explained, "That's why he used this method to control us. No change needed. Rest assured that brat is trapped in my formation. Just wait. In a few days, I'll obtain the antidote. Then he will cure you all. By then, cough. Then he lecherously looked at Noyetni and Ba Luyan, giving a witty laugh, then left. Both were furious, but also, he let out a slow sigh. Fortunately for them, they used corpse pill. Otherwise, it would have been hard for them to preserve their chastity today. Except for cultivators of the demonic path, who practice dual cultivation like Humi and I. Not every woman of demonic path is indifferent to her reputation. The young man with the red hair then walked over to the group of Xian. Under the hateful gazes of everyone, he approached Shui Ruohua and the other women. He walked in front of Shui Ruohua, feeling his soft, fragrant body. Shui Ruohua and the other women let out lecherous laugh. Not bad, not bad. These are what you call women. Unlike those stiff Jiangshi, no matter what, they couldn't compare." Having said that, he forcefully, the hand that spread Wei Nuok's clothes, caused her to scream in fear. Suddenly, a loud shout full of righteous anger rang out. "Stop, you shameless, lecherous villain. Don't touch those ladies. Earlier, the shameful one was you. I am this young master. If you have a problem, take it out on me." Everyone turned to look, astonished and speechless. Wen Tu Vu, his hair disheveled, eyes bloodshot, his face pale, his expression wild, looking as if he were insane, his mind in chaos, with a hint of panic in his eyes. There was even trace of perversity in his gaze. Seeing this, Hong Mang called out, "Young master." She turned angrily to the side and shouted, "You freak! What the hell have you done? What are you doing, young master?" "Red-haired youth, what else can I do? It's not like I'm just feeling refreshed for a bit. Let him observe a little. That's lucky for him. It's a pity. His personality is unstable. Turning into this form is hardly anyone's fault." Shui Ruohua gritted her, saying, "Our young master is always knowledgeable. Filial piety, righteousness, and propriety. How could a young man with red hair dare to scoff and say he possesses possesses knowledge, filial piety, righteousness, and piety. Ha ha ha. You righteous people, do you truly know how to gild a lily? I can only say this young man appears calm and polite, but when he goes wild, it's a different story. Is someone who, even as a demon like me, cannot compare to you. Do you know that your ordinary young master Nguyen has actually absorbed the essence of one of your junior sisters? Hui Nua couldn't believe it, looking towards Xian Xiaowu and questioning, what, is that true? What, is that really true? Then, did not Jiang Mat Wen Fu Vu retract and lower his head, looking guilty? At this moment everything was completely clear. This person had truly joined the demon path and colluded with that demon. Suddenly an old voice rang out, quiet, the wicked demon prince, if not for your seduction, how could he have made such a mistake? Just like that, Hui Nuok Hoa suddenly flinched and happily turned to say to Van, Master, you don't have anything to do you? Next to Tuen Thieu Vu there were 3 elderly men. 2 of them were experts at 4th stage of the void transformation, and 1 was an expert at 5th stage of the void transformation. All 3 had their eyes tightly closed, unaffected by the external events. With a calm mind, couldn't help but smile. The young man with red hair spoke with contempt, saying, Old man, how come none of you old fools ever realized that you were all deceived by me? How did you not fall for my schemes time and time again? In his heart he had long been consumed by demons. It was only a matter of time before he exploded. Who can he blame? From now on, the lack of hand. The Xian Tian sect has entered the demonic path. Xian Tian sect should be changed to demon sect. Elder Yun coldly snorted and scolded loudly, acting recklessly. Young master, you are still young and inexperienced. Your cultivation is still low. Seeing such sights and losing your way, how can you possibly understand? It's not like those great demon heads. You lot, your insolent and disrespectful words dare to shame us. The young man with red hair from the Xian Tian sect smirked and said there was nothing to be afraid of. After all, the Xian Tian sect already had a stain on its reputation which would later become a joke for the 9 sects a righteous cultivator, and yet they went to learn the yin to yang transformation technique. They even collect the spiritual essence of their junior sister. Truly, it's outrageous. That's hilarious. Alright, not talking nonsense with you old guys anymore. The so-called fleeting moment of spring, 1 moment worth 1,000 gold. I still want to enjoy life. The young man in the red shirt laughed loudly. Then, with a lewd glance, he looked toward the group of women, muttering to himself, which beauty should I choose next? Suddenly, the red-haired youth's eyes fell upon the peerless beauty of So Quin Tong. His eyes widened in surprise. Hesitant, he muttered, a woman so ethereal, so transcendent, like this. This is the first time I've seen such a sight. I truly don't have the heart to take advantage of her, but I can't help the desire welling up in my heart. It truly makes me. I'm feeling pumped up, guys. Strange, he said. Aren't you afraid? Truly a strong woman. So Quin Tong smiled. Shaking my head, I said, of course I'm not afraid. After all, I know he will definitely come. I couldn't help let out an evil laugh. Yenemo said, who is that kid? He's just a divine illumination cultivator. A 2nd stage cultivator. He's still dreaming. Trapped by me within the formation. How could he possibly come here to save you? Come on, forget that vain hope. So, Qin Cheng's expression remained unchanged. As usual, she smiled lightly and said, you don't understand him. The words he speaks, he will definitely do. He will come and listen. Hearing those words, Xian Xiaowu was stunned. In his heart, he silently thought, in Qin Cheng's mouth, what exactly? Who is this, you demon? I can't hide my admiration. My beautiful lady, you are truly too beautiful. I can't help but want to possess you. However, rest assured, I won't turn you into a mummy like the others. I will let you stay by my side forever. You will become my woman. Xian Thieu Vu. Seeing that the demon lord targeted Qin Tong, he angrily roared, shut your mouth, Qin Tong. My junior martial sister is not someone you can touch. But as soon as he finished speaking, Tuen Thieu Vu was struck by the demon lord and sent flying. As he fell to the ground, blood trickled from the corner of his mouth. The demon lord coldly looked at him, then sneered, brat, I'll let you enjoy a little pleasure before you truly taste my wrath, daring to compete for my woman. Let me tell you, all the women here, I can let you try, but only she is off limits, because you're not worth. Then he turns to So Quin Tong and smiles wickedly. My beauty, rest assured, I won't overwork myself. It's just that later, I'm afraid you'll be so happy you'll ask me to carry coals. Continuing, cough 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 asterisk. After saying that, Yenemo snapped his fingers, and instantly a small flame appeared above, emitting pale blue and deep red flames. The dazzling, intoxicating light lingered, and he let out a lewd laugh. Ha ha ha. My beauty, let's get down to business, shall we? The group of Hui Nuok's body trembled uncontrollably the moment she saw him. Her whole body felt dry and hot, uncomfortable. Her eyes were like spring water, about to burst into bloom. The elder, however, quickly closed his eyes upon seeing her. Seize this moment to calm your mind. Hold your breath. Focus your will. Don't let that flame control you. It's a celestial demon flame, the rarest on the yin-yang continent. It harmonizes yin and yang, using the heavens and earth as a crucible for its condensation. It can control the yin and yang energy, merging chi energy and tempting the desires within people's hearts. This young young master was also controlled by that flame. Therefore I entered the demonic path. Everyone be careful. Hearing those words, everyone involuntarily trembled, quickly closing their eyes, holding their breath and calming their minds. But even so, expressions of suffering still appeared on their faces. Discomfort caused their bodies to tremble incessantly. With an evil smile, Yan Mo turned to them. Qin Tan calmly said, "My dear, see, they're so far away, yet still under mental control. You're standing right before this flame. Your mind will be even more susceptible. I fear that, in a moment, you'll transform from a jade maiden into a lustful woman. That will be the moment we become intimately close. Excellent. A time for passionate lovemaking." Ha let out a derisive snort. So Qin Cheng remained silently seated there, his body showing no unusual reaction. She scoffed. "Is that really all? Then you'll be disappointed." Yan Mo realized something strange and then withdrew the flames. After careful examination, he was unconsciously horrified. You are not a spirit body. According to legend, this kind of substance is extraordinary. Its physical properties are rarely seen throughout the entire continent. For thousands of years, it's been difficult to find a way to convert various types of energy into other forms, unpredictably transforming them without any rejection reaction. It is the best dual cultivation method in the world. Furthermore, when practicing martial arts together with another person, it's even more. Even the most elusive things can be adjusted. Yin and yang can be controlled very quickly. It can be trained to be called a divine teammate. I felt a little terrified, but after looking at So Qin Tan for a moment, the demonic flames made me joyfully laugh out loud. Ha ha ha. It's a big win. This time, it's truly a huge win. This is something I never dared to imagine. Young master, I went on a trip and unexpectedly found such a precious treasure. It's not the legendary incorporeal being. After saying that, Yan Mo lunged forward, wanting to force So Qin Tan. He laughed lecherously, gleefully saying, "This time, this young master even more desires to cultivate the Tao with a dual cultivation of man and woman, a lifetime of harmonious yin and yang. I could also, in a short time, cultivate to great completion and have a great battle with that Wu Qingxu." She couldn't help be terrified, shouting and scolding, "Shameless villain. You just said you wouldn't act arrogant." Unconsciously, she let out a lecherous laugh. Yan Mo said, It's different now. Just now, I still wanted to subdue you. I used to care about your soul, but now I only want to possess your body." So Qin Tan was terrified. In her heart, she secretly curses, "Zhuo Fan, you damn detestable fellow. How dare you still be like this?" After thinking this, she shouted loudly, "Zhuo Fan, the demonic flames are spreading." As Zhuo Fan's demonic flames lunged toward So Qin Tan, suddenly, the scarlet blade from within her belly shot out like a side dash, striking the demonic flames outward. He couldn't help but recoil. The demonic flames subsided. He felt a sharp pain in his chest. Although it wasn't serious, he was still slightly injured. He looked at So Qin in astonishment. He said, "Power of the primordial spirit is truly so strong, yet you were able to injure my divine soul. How is this possible? But let's just say, even if your primordial spirit is strong, I've already sealed your power. Where did this strength come from?" But right at this moment, a voice rang out, "Hey, sorry about that. The earlier burst of power that injured you wasn't from her. It wasn't her power that hurt. This is mine. You absolutely mustn't blame an innocent person. Don't vent your anger on the wrong person." A female Ziya appeared in his heart, causing Yan Mo to be terrified and hurriedly turn around. He saw that Zhuo Fan had already entered the mountain cave. He didn't know when. He was a few hundred steps away from him. Deep inside, his eyes were filled with intense killing intent. "Don't even touch my father's house. You're already doomed." Main character, with a supremely charming yet cold expression, he said, "I'll slaughter you, you dog." Everyone watch. They couldn't contain their joy and shouted, "Zhao Fan, Steward Zhao, Brother Zhao, you finally arrived." Even people from the Xian Tian sect are overjoyed. Otherwise, their eyes were full of hope. Only the three elders and Tuanfu Wu felt utterly confused and bewildered. He wondered who this person really was and how everyone, upon seeing him, looked upon him as a savior. After that, he glanced at So Qin Tan and saw that she was looking towards Trak Fan, in his eyes full of affection and sweetness. This had never happened before. Xian Xiaowu seemed to understand something. He gritted his teeth. He thought it turned out he was that person. A sudden rage surged in his stomach. A bloody red light flashed. Then he flew out. In a blink of an eye, I've already entered his body. Zhuo Fan hid inside, unconsciously, letting out a chuckle. Zhuo Fan looked towards Yan Mo. He said with a strange laugh, "Haha, luckily, I'd already put blood on inside my body, using her as bait to lure them out. Only then could I find the clues and find this place. What was it like before, seeing the two of you so affectionate with each other? You were green with envy. Must have been very bitter. Let me have a..." Ima coldly spoke. "So it turns out all your previous actions were meant to provoke me, to make me separate two of you, and then use the magical artifact implanted within her. You risked everything to come here to save everyone. However, if I were to take you all back, I would definitely seal your cultivation, leaving you with no chance to fight back." Pham laughed loudly, saying, "Ha ha ha, it's true. We had already guessed the unstable person person's mindset, their fondness for games. So we devised this burning, decaying corpse scheme, life and death, because we know the satisfaction of simply killing isn't true pleasure, but toying with them, that's true enjoyment. Toying with a pair of loves, leading them on, is far more enjoyable than killing them outright, isn't it? Upon hearing this, Yen Mo shivered slightly. Han said coldly, a hero's vision is broad. No wonder you're a cultivator of the demonic Tao, truly a fellow practitioner. But how dare you claim that your tender affections will anger me? What foolish talk. Are you an idiot or blind? Can't you see how stunningly beautiful she is? I'm making love to her right in front of you. Who could possibly bear that? I guess at that time wasn't just one person, but everyone there was furious. And I also heard from the beginning you feuded because you raised them. Playful young man like you certainly wouldn't have a stable personality. Suo Xuanqing must have been pleased and blushing from all the praise, but he was still angry about using her as bait. The demon lord stared intently at the male lead, his teeth gritted as he nodded, then burst into laughter. Ha, very good. You are one of the very few players who didn't fall into the deep pit in the game I designed. I have to admire that. However, I still have some doubts. How could you possibly escape that formation? Suddenly, a light flickered in Fan's hand, revealing a mass of spirit stone with incredibly dense spiritual energy. The male lead smiled and said, setting up a level 7 spirit formation is nothing difficult. Using sacred stones for the formation is also nothing special. Everyone has things like that. This toy formation, even a level 10 formation, I've set up before. And sacred stones? Ha ha ha. The world doesn't only revolve around you. Big shot. Those paltry, broken formations, I can break them with art. Seeing that glittering thing in your hand, you mere mortal. Everyone is terrified, especially those from the Masach sect. They know for sure that only true tycoons, but to be this rich, even rare items like sacred stones they possess. That's the case. Why would they risk their lives to participate in the Song Long conference? Isn't there already a spiritual mine waiting for them to exploit? Ma laughed strangely and said, haha, that's amazing. I wouldn't have thought it possible that a cultivator with such a secretive and cunning mind could appear among the righteous paths. Truly rare. Step by step, not only did you solve the game I designed, but also a top-tier formation. I truly hold you in high regard. A genius like him, even among the top-ranking families, is extremely rare. However, no matter how cunning and scheming that boy is, even with utmost caution, there will be oversights. Sometimes he will make mistakes. What's that? With your current fortune, if you can escape that formation, it's best to run away. Why chase here? Just consider your demonic artifact a little unusual. It might be somewhat effective against ordinary transformation void stage experts, but it's useless against me. Coming here is simply seeking death. You stupid fool. The words had barely left his mouth when the Xian Tian sect disciples anxiously looked towards the offender, thinking, that older brother gets caught again. Then we're finished, left to be slaughtered by that little brat, without even a single survivor to report back and seek help. The 3 Xian Tian sect elders also shook their heads and sighed, thinking, the opponent's power is overwhelming. A divine illumination stage 2 cultivator couldn't even withstand half a move. There wasn't even a sliver of hope. They could only accept death. But people from the demonic scripture sect were different. They smiled coldly. They knew transgressors' strength all too well. It wasn't just about looking at cultivation level. Even they didn't know how powerful this deputy steward truly was, cause he had killed 2 elders with a mere flick of his wrist. Suddenly, the demonic flame seemed to remember something. He laughed loudly, then looked at Zhang Fan with a strange smile. Haha, I almost forgot. Little did you know, you've never actually seen the true face of the young master. I also don't know the young master's true strength. No wonder you rushed here so frantically. You really are beyond save. If that's the case, then this young master will open your eyes a little, let you know what it means to be worlds apart. After saying that, a loud shout was heard. A great booming sound erupted, when the flames of his whole body erupted intensely in all directions. Truly a fire-type cultivator's prowess. He's surrounded by flames. That imposing aura terrified everyone. Even the 2 sect's senior Kung Feng were shocked and exclaimed, a 5th stage void refinement expert. Yang Sha was also shocked, thinking, I never imagined this young man's cultivation was already so high. No wonder he's from the upper 3 sects. The 3 elders thought in confusion. Indeed, he's truly different from ordinary people, even though they are all 5th stage transformation experts. But compared to ordinary people, he's much stronger. Even Elder One, a 5th stage void transformation expert, if they fought one-on-one, he might not even be able to withstand 10 moves from this young man. His true strength is truly unfathomable, rare in this world. Simultaneously, with each wave of flames emitted, behind the flame demon, 2 flames, one red and one blue, suddenly appeared, transforming into 2 giant pythons, their heads and tails biting each other, constantly transforming, spinning incessantly, wildly emitting an eerie aura. The flame demon laughed triumphantly and said, ha 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 ha, this is what you call top-tier elegance. Yang Sha cried out in fear. Pressure is too strong. I feel like I'm about to be roasted alive from this distance. Looking around, 2 beams of cold cold light flashed in Zhuo Fan's eyes. He wasn't affected by this flame at all. The male lead spoke. It turns out it's a celestial demonic enchantment. Yin and yang harmonize. A pair of snakes biting their tails. No wonder he's so arrogant. Yen Mo looked at Zhuo Fan with strange eyes and said, "Wow, how is it this person isn't affected by my flames at all?" At this moment, Yen Mo's heart was gradually filled with fear. Facing a divine illumination stage cultivate, Zhuo Fan's face remained tense. This made Yen Mo break out in a cold sweat, but he still confidently thought, "It's just a divine illumination stage cultivate. Why do I have a feeling that he's not easy to provoke? Like a lion seeing a king cobra for the first time, relying on its size, feels no fear, but its heart warns it not to underestimate this reptile, cause that reptile's venom kill him immediately. But he's just a cultivator who has just broken through to the divine illumination stage. How could he possibly threaten the young master's life? It's truly a joke. Ha ha ha." Taking a deep breath, Yen Mo calmed himself down. He looked towards the male lead and said, "Young master, you now know the true strength disparity between us. Are you regretting it now?" Ha ha ha. With an unperturbed expression, Fan couldn't help but scoff. "Revealing your full strength before the battle even began. Such a foolish act. Your mentality is clearly insufficient. Too naive. As a senior in the demonic path, I have a responsibility to teach the junior demonic cultivators a little, to let them know how to become a true demonic cultivator." Yen Mo roared angrily, "You son of a bitch. You dare mock this demonic dog. You're the junior cultivator." Just as he retracted his words, the demon lord raised his hand. Powerful, raging inferno shot towards Shaq like a fiery meteor shower crashing down. In the blink of an eye, the inferno was right upon Shaq, the radiating heat terrifying. With a deafening boom, a horrifying explosion erupted, dust and smoke billowing into the sky. Elder Van sighed and said, "Well, that fellow's move contains a soul-shaking impact. Divine illumination stage cultivators can't possibly resist it. No matter how mysterious it is, he's finished." The flame demon laughed heartily after that. He was certain that one move would be enough to subdue the mortal, but immediately after, his face turned incredibly astonished. The demon, unable to contain his terror, exclaimed, "How is this possible?" Boom, boom, boom. After a loud bang, the flamboyant magical array was instantly shattered by a single blow, then vanished without a trace. Only the casually raised hand of the male antagonist remained, who stood there, the most awesome figure under heaven. That incessant mocking laugh. Ha ha ha. Underestimating the enemy on the battlefield is the ultimate taboo in the demonic path. I'm not wrong in saying you're too naive. Yen Mo flinched slightly. Then he gritted his teeth and said, "He only blocked one casual soul attacking strike from the young master bomb. What's the big deal?" Before he could finish speaking, a fist appeared before him, and V Ma was startled because he hadn't noticed it at all. How could Pham possibly have gotten so close without leaving a trace? V Ma exclaimed, "How is that possible? How could a person? But this coconut isn't for him to bark at." Because the sound of a motorcycle engine roared again. Under the giant shadow, powerful punch from Truck Pham fiercely struck towards his head. The male protagonist yelled, "Die, you dog!" Boom, boom, boom. V Ma quickly raised his hand to stop, but it didn't work. He was punched and slammed against the wall by the male lead. So he probably understood who's the boss here.